Hey, my name is Max. I am an independent database consultant, researcher, and big fan of SQL. And today we're going to talk about databases code, not only migrations. We will discuss what is a databases code in real life, in wildlife, and we will see that migration scripts are just the very beginning of the hard road to database as code. Let's go. And we will start with everything as code things. Everything as code, as we know, is a philosophy where any IT area might be represented as a plain code. And we can work with it using standard tools and technologies like editors, control version systems, static analysis, etc. And yes, indeed, there are many everything as code realizations from many areas. For example, GitLab CI, Ansible, Markdown, and much more. And we can get all the benefits of working with code. You have no more monstrous GUI where you're afraid to click something wrong. You can use full version control for all your changes. You can put your code to the CI/CD pipeline, and everybody in your team is coding and using the same tools. We're used to the everything as code things, and we love it. But how about database as code? It was a very exotic combination of words, but then North, in his talk, Aren't We Forgetting Someone, proposed 4 simple rules for creating a database like code. All database changes are scripted and automated. All database changes are under version control, ability to release on demand at any time, and DBA should be integrated with dev and ops people. It's been 6 years, and nowadays it's hard to find a project that doesn't follow these rules, at least the first 3. There are a lot of different database migration tools and different ways to integrate it with your version control system and your CI/CD pipeline. For example, Flyway, GitHub Online migration tool, Sketch, Schema, and of course, Liquibase. And it's really great. But we know database is not only schema, is not only DDL operations. First of all, database is data and queries to data. DML for data and metadata. Also, database needs administration like space management and memory management, monitoring like metrics, gathering and performance troubleshooting, documentation, and all the stuff. And there is special language for all these things. And of course, it is SQL. SQL is a universal language for data and metadata. And SQL, first of all, was made by humans for humans, not for machines. But on the other hand, we have some problems with SQL. I call it SQL hell, like jar hell or DLL hell. Our SQL queries scattered everywhere. Our applications generate tons of dynamic queries. Many static queries are injected directly to the code of another program, like Java, Python, or something else, or place it in configuration files like YAML, JSON, or TOML, and we can't control, test, and trust these tons of SQL. But how about that simple idea? Keep all SQL queries as normal code. Why not? And I have prepared some additional database as code rules. All changes and operations with the database and all queries against the database should be expressed as a plain code, not only DDL, but DML and all other kinds of SQL too. Git or anything else version control system is a single source of truth for all your database code. SQL actually is a main database language supported by almost all DBMS and storages. And treat your SQL code, your SQL queries like normal code. SQL is a human-oriented computer language for your data and your database is not a bytecode. It also needs static analysis, code review, tests, and automation of it all in your CI/CD pipeline. The full version of these rules is hosted on GitHub. Please check it out. And I will be very grateful for the stars, pull requests, issues, and any other feedback. But are there tools in real life that satisfy these rules? And our answer, yes, it is. First of all is data building tool, or simply DBT. DBT is a tool for data transformation. And the main idea is very clear and very simple. You just drop SQL file with your select statements to your repository, while DBT materializes these statements into tables and views. No boilerplate code, only SQL. DBT provides also testing framework for your queries, templating with Ginger tool, relationships management between queries, visualization of these relationships, and much more. Another example is data mapping. Data mapping tools are usually very sophisticated tools for extracting and mapping our data to our data structures. It usually results in SQL code generation and performance issues. But some tools provide to us a query first design. You just drop SQL file with your query to a repository and use it from your application code. It's very simple and predictable, and no magic. There are a lot of query first libraries and frameworks for different languages like YesSQL, HackSQL, PugSQL, SQLite, and much more. And finally, I would like to present my small experimental project based on the database as code ideas. Malevich. Malevich is yet another graphical SQL client or SQL manager for database schema exploring and performance analysis, but with some key features. This tool was originally designed for hacking and extending, and you can use for that only your SQL skills and a little bit HTML skills without any boilerplate code. Check it out on GitHub and try online demo. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you all for listening. It was a pleasure being here today. Feel free to text me at any time and follow me. Finally, I will be happy to answer your questions and keep your database as code.